But anyway, yeah, that is most of a lap of the circuit. There will be 26 laps this evening. Each lap 5.4 kilometers, meaning the drivers will have to cover over 154 kilometers of the circuit to reach the end of the line. The race lap record as of 2013 was Michael Schumacher, which was a 1:30.2, which was in the Ferrari F2004. But as you can see, that lap time has been completely smashed here in the qualifying session. Of course, qualifying slightly faster than the race, but we shall see whether that gets beaten. Other than that, it's quite a run-off track. There's room for error here. There's margin for error. And yes, so we can look forward to the race tonight. It should be a very nice and enjoyable one. After the first race of the season was very enjoyable. The current qualifying standings are Scuderia Seb is on pole, followed by Dropia, who's actually just a reserve driver, who raced last race and came second just behind Scuderia Seb at Australia. And it appears that FLH Crazy Crumpet is glitching the server. Maybe just run out of fuel there. We can't go upwards, which is slightly annoying. Just gonna ride on board here quickly with Peckers in the Red Bull. The current fastest lap is a 1:24.4, which is over 5/10 faster than Dropia, who is on second, still on the front row. Chris Monier is currently in fifth. The Spaghetti Ships starting off the second row. Topic has been unlucky after sustaining heavy front wing damage on his initial flying lap. But will he be able to complete a lap this time out? And that's a 1:50.6. And now he goes round for his fastest lap to try and set a hot lap, which will take him hopefully off 15th on the leaderboard. 5 drivers not racing tonight, which is a bit of a shame, because a packed grid is more fun. But anyway, it's less stuff for me to concentrate about. Anyway, we are watching the Force India of Topic here. Currently with ERS all the way up to 5. Although ERS management isn't too much of an issue on this heavy braking circuit, where it's very easy to regenerate some of this electronic battery juice. There's the yellow flags in Sector 1 and Sector 3. Still yellow flags in Sector 1, not too sure why that is. Yes, tonight I'm also not streaming the race due to the fact that my Wi-Fi is awful, and we have a better picture like this. That Scuderia said with the fastest lap, which is Sims Danger rather, with a 1:25.9. Initially setting his on softs, he's gone up to the super softs, the softer compound with more grip, to try and increase that. Is Topic only moving up 2 places there, but taking him bettering his hot lap by many seconds. And you can see there 3 people coming out of the pits, and he contacts the back of FLH Crazy Crumpet. He's going to be a bit annoyed with that. That is not great. Not too sure what happened there. That'll definitely be one for the stewards, because Crazy Crumpet, I believe, was on a hot lap, and that's just ruined it. And Topic has ruined his lap though as well, although he doesn't appear to have sustained any front wing damage. Green flags there being waved by the marshals. This is the man on pole today. I believe Rusland 000 is also a reserve driver, but do not quote me on that. Anyway, Simsy Danger still maybe looking to increase his current lap time, or maybe this is, no, he is just he's pitting this out. As you can see, he's not using his ERS to full advantage. Going down to 77 miles per hour through that corner. There's yellow flags in sector 2, and yes, you can see him pulling into the pit. The pit entrance very short at this track indeed. That sound is very, very strange indeed. But anyway, Dropia has appeared to have overtaken Spaghetti Chips on the timing leaderboard. Simsy Danger then well ahead of Dropia on the second row. Over a second ahead, which is quite some margin. Although from third all the way down to 11th, there's just 7.76 hundredths of a second in it, or just over 7 tenths, about 8 tenths in it there, which is quite peculiar. Not often you see how close these drivers are, but of course they are in equal matched cars, and you can see there FLH Crazy Crumpet just pulling over to let Dropia through after his lap was ruined by Topic. Not too sure what happened there. I'm not going to make any judgments on who did what, but it appeared to me that Topic hit the back of the Toro Rosso. But yes, the stewards will probably want, if the drivers wish to, they can report that to the stewards after the race, as they all record the race in preparation for that stage. Just 30 seconds left of the qualifying session. The driver's last chance if they're already on an lap, and you can see McLaren goes straight into the barrier there in the background, and there is Prince Killer off the track right after the final corner. Maybe just too much wheel spin, or maybe too much oversteer for him to handle on the exit of the final turn, and he's going to pull into the pits after that with just 3 seconds left. Paul James retiring from the session. That's a yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 2, and yes, that is probably due to them finishing the sessions, though I'm not sure why Paul James has retired from the session. Many people though retiring to end the session. If you wish to join this league, it's just www.f1leaguehub.com, I believe. And yeah, we're always looking for new drivers, because more packed grid is always a more fun grid. So now they're retiring from the session. As you can see, the garages of Paul James, number 9, with his number 99, and Philip Hogston with his number of, I believe that's 88. You can see what the pit crews do there in the corner. They slide a special wheel on underneath the car, right underneath its centre of gravity, and push it into the garage. Didn't realise that was exactly how they did it, but then again, that's quite a cool piece of information to know. And now we are just awaiting Chris Minnier to cross the... Never mind. And that is going to round off the qualifying section. You can see sparks flying out from the back of his chassis. Obviously running at very low ride height. And that is the qualifying grid. Simsy Danger, Scooter Seb, Chris Minnier, Dropia, Sonar, Spaghetti Chips, Yomper, Fretty, FLH, Crazy Crumpet, Techers, Philip Hogston, Paul James, Topic CV, CZV7, Prince Killer, and Rustland 000 rounds off the grid in an Alfa Romeo Sauber. Speaking of Alfa Romeo Sauber, we'll be able to see Kimi Räikkönen in that car, just to see how to compare, which will be interesting to compare one of the best drivers, if not the best driver on the grid, to a lower caliber driver like Marcus Ericsson next season. Of course, the news that Charles Leclerc is moving up to the Ferrari for the 2019 season, I found out today during the daytime, so this news might be a bit late for most of you. But anyway, that's interesting. Also, Sebastian Loeb looks like he may be taking up a seat at Toro Rosso, as well as Robert Kubica potentially replacing Lance Stroll at Williams, which will all be interesting, and we'll all find out by the time next season rolls around. But in the meantime, we have the Bahrain Grand Prix to get on with. Just waiting for the drivers to load up into the session now, as we have a view of the Ferrari down the whole pit lane actually. See on the floor there, 77 Bottas and 44 Hamilton. Though in the game that would be slightly different. You can see the drivers setting off on their formation lap. Get the drivers up to the correct temperature, and the tyres up to the correct temperature, and the brake, but you don't want to get them too hot or too cold. Just right, you don't want to be sitting on that grid for too long either, especially if you're on the front row. Of course, it's at night time, as Bahrain. In the daytime it gets very hot, although the temperatures cool down rapidly at night time in the desert, which will be an interesting mix. We're going to follow someone further down the grid so that we can see more turn 1 action. Unless there is all turn 1 action at the front of the grid, we're going to be watching Dropia for the start of the race, so we can get a fix of the back of the grid, while also being able to view most of what's happening at the front of the grid. But while we wait for that, we see Chris Minnaar being disqualified from the session for hitting his teammate Scooter 7 in the back. It's not every day you see that. Both of the Williams being disqualified, then they'll have to sit directly on the grid, which means they do not have as much opportunity to warm up their tyres and brakes, and be starting on colder tyres and brakes, meaning it will be a lot easier to lock up into the first turn, and also there'll be less grip for them in the first turn. We can see now just the driver going slightly off there. It's always easy to hit the back of the other drivers if you're packed too close on the formation lap, but you don't want to be, if you're on the front, you want to try kind of pack up the drivers behind you and make sure that you're not sitting on that grid slot for too long and letting your tyres get cold. And you can see a Red Bull racing off ahead of the Ferrari there. Not too sure why that is, but of course the AI will take over at some point here as they reform and find their correct places on the grid. As you can see, the Ferrari and the Sauber merging, or swapping positions. A metaphor as to what has happened today in real life, you could say. Those are the two Williams that have been disqualified. The Ferrari just sitting on the front row for about 5 seconds there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They are out, and away we go here in Bahrain. All the drivers setting off on the grid, and that is FLH Critical Comfort down by 3 positions. You can see lots of drama. The camera angle cutting off everyone as we go down, and there's a Mercedes off on the grass as Dropia makes up 2 positions at the front. Dropping down the grid, we can see just behind there's a Renault going down the inside, and it looks like Spaghetti Chips is off the track. Not too sure. And Chris Minnaar is also off the track, dropping down 11 places and 9 places each. And Topics is battling with the Mercedes there, very close. And the McLaren looks like it might try and benefit from that battle, but not quite. Gaps already being extended. That McLaren getting very close to the back of the... And there it goes down the inside of the Force India. They're going to be side by side. No, the McLaren gets a better exit. It's going to be ever so slightly ahead as they head down into the semi-hairpin, as they get very close to the back of each other's cars. And he's going to have this slipstream. He's put up his ERS mode to try and get more power, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it as they head down towards turn 11. And he is not going to be able to make that turn through, unfortunately. But this is the closest gap on the field, apart from Spaghetti Chips and Chris Minnaar both going off at the start of that. Spaghetti Chips goes down the inside, and there he's made the overtake stick. Those three having awful starts. Not too sure why that is, but you can see Topic here. He may try and take a look down the on the main straight. It just depends if he can get a good exit. He's got the ERS into hot lap mode. He's going to have the slipstream, but will it be enough? The straight quite long at this track. ERS high, but Prince Killer also has his ERS on overtake, and he's not going to be close enough there on the straight. And Yompa, though, further up the grid, getting quite close to the back of the Haas. And the interval doesn't seem to be working. Chris Manier pulling into the pits there. Yes. And this is Topic getting very close to the back of that McLaren. You can just see how close they're getting from the onboard camera. The gap under 0.3 of a second. As you can see, the Mercedes and the McLaren go, the Force India go off. Not too sure what happened there. It looks like there's been a collision between Paul James and Topics. That was very interesting. It doesn't look like Topics has any front wing damage, but Paul James might have. I thought I saw a bit of debris. And yes, he has no front wing left on the front of his car. So there's a bit of oversteer there from Ruslan 000. Dramatic first few laps here in Bahrain, and look, he's still got his ERS mode up into 5 as he understeers massively through turn 12, I believe, and letting other drivers through like Spaghetti Chips and the like, because they are clearly faster, although Spaghetti Chips does seem to be lagging quite a bit here. Further up the grid though, Yompa is getting close. That is Drop Wheel setting the fastest lap. Paul James going down the inside of Spaghetti Chips, but not judging it correctly and going very wide on the exit. Spaghetti Chips managing to keep it, although the AI is playing as Spaghetti Chips. Now this is Yompa. That's a 5-second penalty for Paul James, number 9 there, for speeding in the pit lane. Obviously here the front wing damage. Now this is Yompa who's looking to gain time. Spaghetti Chips rejoined the session, obviously having connectivity issues there. We just saw him lagging earlier. But this Renault gaining very much on the back of the Haas of Fretty. We'll be looking to enter, and that is Topics and Ruslan out of the race. Not too sure why that is there. They look like they've both retired for some unknown reason, and there's been a collision. Unfortunately, I missed the collision. I was busy looking at Yompa, and that is a big collision. Topics causing much controversy on the first lap. Ruslan also being a reserve driver. There's yellow flags in Sector 1 and Sector 3. Absolute drama here on the at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Absolute drama. And you can see how close Yompa is to the back of Fretty. Maybe on the main straight he'll be able to try and get his ERS and DRS, as it has been enabled by the stewards, I believe. Now we're on lap 3 on the main straight. He is gaining. He's put his ERS up to 3, but now back to 2. Breaking into the final couple of turns 14 and 15, or that might be wrong. But anyway, heading down the main straight, definitely gaining speed. Fretty going down the inside, and Yompa's going to get it. He's already made the overtake by the time he's got to the end there. Only just though, as you can see Fretty getting very close to the back. Fretty maybe looking to try and retake that position. Looking down the inside, he's going to have the same amount of speed. They're going to go side by side at the braking zone. Fretty gets the inside. They're still side by side. This is absolute close, and there's a bit of contact there. The rear wheel of Yompa just slightly tapping the front wing of Fretty, although it doesn't look like Fretty has suffered any damage there, which is quite fortunate. But Fretty goes down the inside, bit of a lock up there, and he's got the exit. They're going to be side by side again. This is very, very close racing here. See, on board with Yompa, he's got no ERS activated. There he goes, activating the DRS, putting his ERS up to 2. And this is racing. What a Grand Prix. We're only 4 laps in. Many more laps to go. Each lap 5.4 kilometer thrill ride. And 25 laps to go. What more do we need to see, honestly? Those first few laps were really dramatic. Anyway, we can see Yompa and Fretty trying to battle it out. This as Yompa puts his ERS up to 5, but Fretty up to 4 defending. Yompa's going to have the DRS. Are we going to have a repeat of what we had last time? He goes on the outside, Fretty keeping the inside. They're going to be side by side into the first turn. Outbraking him just about. Bit of a front left lock up there. Fretty gets the switch back. They're going to be side by side through the second part. And they're still side by side, Jumper just slightly behind. And Fretty only very slightly defending his position. FLH Crazy Crumpet though currently in first place. Not too sure why that is, that might be due to stops. But anyway, back to Yompa and Fretty. That might have been a glitch then, FLH Crazy Crumpet being at the top of the leaderboards. Russland has left the session. Very unfortunate race for him after his collision with Topic that I missed. That will definitely be one for the stewards, and I want to see what really happened there. Unfortunately, there are no replays on the online version of the game, on the online spectator mode, so we could all take a look, but that would be quite complicated, and I understand why it's not hit. And there's yellow flags in Sector 2 and Sector 3, not too sure why that is. Philip Hogston though very close to the back of Prince Killer, and that is Yompa not quite getting it in there for the first turn, for the final turn rather. He's going to have ERS up to 5. The man in front just having it up to 4. He's going to have the DRS. He looks like he's got the slipstream. Very close. He's going to do the same on the outside. This is really ping pong if Sebastian Vettel ever needed it. They're very close. And through the second part, he looks to have made the overtake stick. Fretty dropping behind, but not too far behind. He's still very close. He's going to take a look down the inside into the braking zone, the 100-meter board, front right lockup, and they're side by side. Just Yompa making it slightly ahead. Bit of a lag spike there. Front right lockup again. That front right is getting maybe getting quite worn there due to all these lockups. Anyway, what an overtake by Yompa, maybe slightly being held up there by the other driver, although Fretty is going to be very close on the exit of that corner, managing to gain a lot of time, only using ERS mode 1 due to a bit of a lack of ERS, to be honest, whereas Yompa does appear to have lots of ERS left. He appears to put it down into 0 into the turn complex before the secondary straight. A bit of a lock up there from Fretty. This is very close. Now up to the podium positions. Pulling into the pits now is Scuderia Seb. And that looks like FLH, Crazy Crumpet and Chris Miller getting very close to the back of each other. As FLH lets him through after going a bit wide. Not too sure what happened there. And now bit of an internet related issue, I reckon, that was there, unfortunately. Now Fretty and Yompa obviously battling out still. After this is their 4th lap of battling, both of them locking up, as you can hear the tyres squealing under the pressure of the brakes. What a Grand Prix this evening though, may I just say. Yellow flags in Sector 2. Not sure why that was, but that was quite cool camera from the engine cover, and we join on board Spaghetti Chips as he approaches the rear of Scuderia Seb. Maybe he'll attempt to make a pass on the main straight, because it doesn't look like he's close enough there. Managing his traction well, but it looks like Scuderia Seb is definitely gaining time, is definitely extending the gap between himself and the Spaghetti. But this is the pair producing the drama on track. Luckily, they've both been very clean racers so far. Of course, that is Fretty diving into the pit lane, trying to perform an undercut on Yompa. Now Yompa is currently leading the pack. Hear the crowd go wild as he drives past. Scuderia Seb though very close to the rear of Prince Killer. He's got lots of speed. He's getting so much momentum down that straight. He's going to have the inside for the first part of the first turn complex, and Prince Killer does let him through. Obviously the faster driver. Prince Killer, though, not losing too much time on Scooter Seb. And now Crazy Crumpet is in the lead, having overtaken Philip Hogston. FLH. Don't know what it is with FLH Crazy Crumpet, but it appears like he keeps ending up at the front of the grid. And that is Chris Manir going down the inside. He's going to have the outside there side by side, and he lets him through. Doesn't look like there was any damage on any of the cars just there. Not too sure though. That was very close racing indeed from those two after what looked like an earlier collision a lap or two ago. Lap 8 of 29 here, just over 20 laps to go. And drama left, right and centre here as Philip Hogston getting very close to Scooter Seb. You can see on the onboard cam just how close they are. Front right lock up there from the soft tyres of Philip Hogston. Sims Danger with the fastest lap, which is 1:30.871. Everyone has stopped apart from Yomper, Philip Hogston and Prince Killer. Looks like that was another fastest lap of the race there. Scooter Seb with 1:34.474, cutting that time from ahead down by just under 0.4 of a second. The intervals are my best friend here, helping me view what drama is out. And there goes the Mercedes down the inside of FLH Crazy Company, who appears to be back in first. Not too sure what is happening between Crazy Crumpet and the servers. You see a cameraman on the crane there, just at the bottom of the frame. Yomper is on 8 lap old softs, super softs rather. The first person to have pitted looks like it was Sonar or Scooter Seb trying to perform an no, it was Tekers trying to perform an undercut on the other drivers. But when Yomper pits, will he pit ahead of Fretty? That is the question. Not too sure how long a pit stop takes, but he dives into the pit lane now. Fretty here. This is the man who is potentially going to make an overtake in from the pit lane, unless they have been both travelling at the same time. That's Scooter Seb with the fastest lap with 1:32.257. Getting ahead of myself there. But Yomper exiting the pit lane now. Fretty is the man to watch out for. The gap looks like it is just too big. No, it's not. Fretty coming out side by side. It looks like they're side by side again, even after the pit stops. Yomper just about letting him through, but defending off the Sabra as they go side by side. Drop here, just slight contact there. Drop here getting very overtaking Yomper, in fact. Just about missed that as we get a massive lag spike, not like spag. Although you can go over to his channel and check it out. Very good racing, and there appears to have been contact between those two drivers. Unfortunately, the camera cut away to the rear of the vehicle, as it looks like Sonar punted the back of Prince Killer, although no front wing damage was sustained. And is that a puncture on the front of no, sorry. Looked like there was a puncture in the front of Prince Killer there for a second. It just appeared that his front left was oscillating, and we're lagging very badly now. Russland has been very angry in the group chat of the drivers towards Topic. I believe he was probably collided into, and Sims Danger with a 1:29.489 fastest lap of the race. Prince Killer currently holding the shortest gap of the race right now, but it's not too much. It's actually Dropia now, Dropia behind Fretty. And Yomper behind Dropia. So Yomper is actually losing time on Fretty. Maybe not as fast on this harder compound. We shall see. You can see the Sauber getting a double lock up there at the front of the car. FLH Crazy Crumpet back in the lead. I say with inverted commas. There. Bit of a strange occurrence. 13 drivers left with 11 laps of the Grand Prix gone, as we get a lovely helicopter shot here, letting us soak up most of the action on the track. Bit of a lock up there from both of them. Very easy to lock up on the downhill braking, trail braking section there. The gap just over to 3/10 between Fretti and Dropia. We're at the front of the grid. Sonar getting very close to the back of the Mercedes of Philip Hodgson. It's going to be close to call who is going to get ahead, although for the sake of points it looks like this is the battle that is the battle to follow, as they get very close to the back down the straight. DRS enabled and ERS up to overtake mode on the Red Bull, braking, and he's made the overtake. He gets the inside of the and Dropia just about making the overtake with the ERS and DRS on the main straight. Very close here, as Crazy Crumpet returns to the front of the grid. Fretti there, very close to the back of Dropia, and he's going to go down the outside. Front right lock up there, side by side. And it's going to be very close, almost flat out through that corner with a slight touch of braking. They are so close, and the cars in front so close as well. Tech is getting very close to the back of Prince Killer, and Fretti to the back of Dropia. We'll be able to see all of the action there from this angle of the man at the back of the grid, as the Red Bull makes an overtake on Prince Killer, as you can see off in the distance. The rear car obviously going to receive a lot of dirty air through that section. Very downforce reliant. Everyone has stopped apart from Philip Hodgson and Prince Killer. It's Prince Killer kind of in a battle that he is not really involved with once he's made his pit stop. Topics has left the session. And that is Dropia performing an overtake on Prince Killer, but not quite close enough. Massive front right lock up there from the south, but he gets down the inside either way because Prince Killer understeers in that turn. As Fretti is very close to the back of Prince Killer, locking up as he goes down the inside. Fretti and Dropia, yeah, it was Fretti and Dropia performing much of the entertainment for this evening's race. And I'll be uploading this race as soon as I can after it's finished. We're approaching the halfway point in a couple of laps time at the Grand Prix here in Bahrain. And now Dropia performing his, getting close to his next victim, which is Tekkas in the Red Bull. Dropia, not sure what he's doing in the tier 2 of season 3, as he goes down the inside, and it's going to be very close. He gets sliding off the track. He's going to go very narrow there, side by side into the final turns. It doesn't look like it. The Red Bull's slightly ahead, maybe having a better exit, being able to go faster through that turn, but he's definitely Dropia's definitely going to have the power with the DRS and the ERS activated. He's so close. Look how close he is, and he's going to make the overtake probably before he even reaches the end of the straight. Yes, he does, in fact. And that is Philip and the Prince Killer both going into the pits there. Dropia performing absolute wonders on the track today. Excellent driver, excellent performance, but the Red Bull's looking to get very close to the back of Dropia. Dropia darting around slightly there. Fortunately, I'm not going to go into the T-cam for the sake of your ears. Now we've got the rev glitch, I like to call it. And you can see now Fretti getting very close to the back of the Red Bull. Well, the Red Bull may be holding Fretti up for Dropia. That might assist Dropia actually, unless he's slowed Dropia down to make him closer, as we receive huge amounts of lag. Unfortunately, my internet is absolutely awful, which is why I don't stream the races anymore. If you want to know who I am, my channel is Barless. There'll probably be a link in the description, so if you want to go ahead and subscribe. But otherwise, we are currently watching Fretty get close to the back of the Rebel. The Rebel defending, but how long will he be able to keep Fretty behind him? We shall see. Approaching the end of the lap here. Freddy's going to be very close, but it's not looking like he's going to be close enough. The DRS and the ERS may help here. We're not too sure as he dives down to the inside. Tekkas dives down to the inside to try and break the toe there. As Prince Killer gets 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and Freddy goes down the inside of the Rebel, which means he can target Dropia. Dropia now having to look in his wing mirrors because he can see his rival Haas approaching him from behind, and now we can see Crazy Crumpet has entered the pit lane. The gap just half a second actually between Fretty and Tekkas. Tekkas obviously maybe looking to gain time on Fretty. Fretty obviously looking to gain time on the Sauber and then potentially overtake the Sauber. This could be a battle that sees us through to the end of the race. Simpsy Danger has been leading the race. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to give him much video credit because of this dramatic battle. There's a bit of a rear lock up there from, what looked like a rear lock up there from Fretty. The Rebel though not refusing to let the Haas disappear from his sights, and Dropia actually increasing the gap between himself and Fretty. Absolute scenes here in Bahrain. Yes, definitely lag is abundant when I do anything to do with online on my PlayStation. But anyway, this has been an exciting race. If you have enjoyed the race, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel, and feel free to apply to join our league or to share our league. We're looking to expand all the time, so all new drives are always welcome. And yeah, you're definitely increasing the gap. He's increased it from 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds in the last lap or so. We are currently on lap 16, the halfway point, past the halfway point now, as I leave you with a quick break. But Crazy Crumpet is getting close to the rear of Chris Nanir. Sorry about that. Ignore what I just said, because this could be close. The gap is over a second. There's no way he's going to be able to make this overtake on the straight, as he has the DRS and the ERS. Tekkas getting a bit of oversteer there, as we see our cameraman on the crane. Our crane bound cameraman. I'll be right back. And that is the ref pulling into the pit lane. A bit of a weird pit stop there, Wi-Fi, and that is Tekkas finally making a second pit stop, I believe. Yes, making a second pit stop. Of course, there is the variable of second pit stops. Fretty now still losing time to Dropia. Dropia now 4.4 second gap, so he's increased it by a second in the last lap. Very interesting. Crazy Crumpet returns to the front of the grid for some unknown reason. I really do understand that. It's probably something to do with the server, a bit of a glitch. But anyway, we can see the timings return to the leaderboard. And Paul James, number 9, the first driver to be lapped here. So now receiving a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which could actually mean Dropia looks to be setting his sights on the other Red Bull. After passing one Red Bull, maybe he can't get enough of overtaking the Red Bulls and maybe setting Sonar as his next target. Sonar makes an overtake on Scooter Seb. Scooter Seb exits the pit lane there. And this is the man leading the Grand Prix this evening. Simply Danger doing very well this evening. Scooter Seb though close to the back of Drop here. You can just about see the gap. This driver roster very close, very even talent, which is providing for some very good racing with just 12 or so laps left of the Grand Prix. "54 kilometers of the race to go, and much more action to go. Dropia now almost within the 3-second range. If Dropia hasn't got a penalty, it appears that Sonar could be in danger from the Sauber. The Sauber coming second in Australia, even though he doesn't even actually belong in this league. Techers though getting close to the back of Philip Hogston, closest gap on the grid, but it doesn't look like too much, as we're going to take a look at the incidents on track. So there was terminal damage between Rustland and Topic. Have to review that after the race. And, not too much else really, apart from a couple of 3-second time penalties, Prince Killer, Paul James and Sonar. Other than that though, the race appearing quite safe, but Sonar very close to the back of Simply Danger then. This is very interesting. Simply Danger appears to be losing pace. Of course, he is on harder compound tyres. Simply Danger though is a pit stop ahead of Sonar. Sonar has yet to pit, but Scooter Seb is ahead of Dropia in terms of pit lane, the pits. And Crazy Crumbrett returns to the front of the grid yet again, but Sonar getting close to the back of Simply Danger. Simply Danger might not want to fight this battle in order to preserve his tyres, because he's going to take them to the end. 10 laps to go, just 54 kilometers rather right now of the race to go, as we see with huge amounts of lag. Maybe it's best not to go, as Simply Danger appears to have lost connection, or having very loose connection here. Tech is now though definitely gaining time on Philip Hogston, the Red Bull approaching the Mercedes. Oh, Scooter Seb just overtaking Drop It. Oh no, that is in the pit lane, sorry about that. I honestly believe there was a big overtake happening there. Techers, Philip Hogston rather, is a pit stop behind Techers. Yompa moving up into 4th place and Fretty into 3rd. The gap between Fretty and Dropia is actually behind Fretty. Not too sure how that's happened. Oh, Dropia is a pit stop ahead. I thought so. I was going to say it just didn't show the pit stop difference there. I believe I just saw yellow flags in sector 1 as Paul James is out of the session. I don't know where he's crashed. We'll ride on board with this Red Bull to try and see what's happened. But yeah, that is Paul James out of the race. Obviously, I believe this is where his car crashed. Unfortunate for Paul James. I was just about to mention how there's only been 2 DNFs, but that makes it 3, which means there's only 12 drivers left running this Grand Prix. Which is unfortunate, which means there's less drama to happen on track. Chris Minir though only 2 tenths behind McLaren, almost crashing into the back of him. Getting very close, maybe not riding on board because of the rev counter glitch. Lag all over the place, so we can't actually see what's going on. But other than that, he's on the mediums, definitely taking the mediums to the end. Simply Danger setting a faster lap on his softs with a 1:28.9. As the Williams tries to take a peek down the inside, not quite, as he gets a bit of oversteer there in the exit. Spaghetti Chips there approaching Techers. Don't know which fight to go for. because these three are close, but Crispin is closer. You can see just how much as overtakes further up the grid. Tech is getting very the Red Bull getting very close to the back. Spaghetti Chips also very close to the back of the other driver. Tech is very close. It's going to take the DRS. He's going to have a look down the inside of the Grand Prix, and they go 3-1 into the first turn. The Toro Rosso rather losing out, but the Red remaining in the same place, but Red Bull making a singular overtake. Very, very close here. Spaghetti Chips, his POV, as Philip Hogston takes a look down the inside of Tekkers, making a big lock up there in his mediums, obviously, off the compound for Tekkers. The Toro Rosso getting very close to the back of these two. A nice helicopter shot shows off what we're really seeing here. Absolute fine driving there, managing not to collide. As the Toro Rosso takes a peek down the inside, they collide though with he collides though with the Mercedes, but they don't appear to have sustained any damage, which is quite fortunate. So unfortunate for the Toro Rosso there of Spaghetti Chips, but a very close racing from those three, and very entertaining racing. As he gains so much time in the braking there. My voice sounded a bit funny. Slightly going off the track there. Spaghetti Chips, just 2 seconds off his fastest pace there. He looks like he may be able to make an overtaking chance into the next part of the on the main straight actually, and Tekkers though gaining time on Fretty behind Dropia, but that's a 9-second gap as the Toro Rosso making an overtake almost before the DRS even started, and yeah, that looks like quite a breeze for him there, not even using the ERS there to assist him, or it doesn't look like it anyway. Very good racing. You can see these 4 drivers very close, which isn't something, yeah, you usually see in Formula 1, and it's nice to see it online. It shows how competitive these drivers are, and it really adds an enjoyment to the race that we don't often get. Even with 12 drivers, this is very dramatic races. The Toro Rosso tries to take a look down the inside of the car of his sister team, getting very close to the back of the Red Bull there. The Red Bull doesn't appear to have made a second stop yet. Oh no, he has now, so this is a battle of the grid. Philip Hogston rather not making a stop yet, as the Toro Rosso takes a look down the inside into the next part of the into the braking zone, and it looks like he's made the overtake stick. Now his next target is Fretty in the house ahead, and the Red Bull, he needs to extend the gap to the Red Bull before the main straight. He's put the ERS rather into high, but it looks like there could be some drama into the first turn between these two. Spaghetti Chips definitely getting some slight toe. The number 95 getting some slight toe off Fretty's house, but Dropia getting very close to the back of Sonar. Further up the grid, the Red Bulls are always in the drama, it appears, on this track, but not quite close enough to make an overtake there. Sonar does have a 3-second time penalty, unlike Dropia, so Dropia is safe, currently ahead of Sonar if we were to finish now. Just 6 laps left to go of the Grand Prix in Bahrain. Season 3A1, hope you're enjoying. I definitely am. 32 kilometers to go of the race. Dropia receiving a bit of Sonar receiving a bit of oversteer there, I believe, although that might just be lag slide or whatever it's called. But Dropia, yes, getting very close. Sims Danger setting another fastest lap with the 1:28.9. That's an excellent Grand Prix this evening. Fantastic racing. Although there were a couple collisions, which were an unfortunate side effect of the close racing. Spaghetti Chips looking like he is gaining on Fretty actually, which means he could set Dropia in his targets, but Dropia getting very close to Sonar, so Sonar could be his next time at FLH Crazy Government, receiving a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Running out of breath, the Toro Rosso getting very close to the back of the house, not quite close enough, maybe quite close enough to get make an overtake into the turn 1. Yes, he does. outbraking him. He's going to have the inside, and he makes the overtake. He's going to have the inside for the second part as well, which means he is an overtake. And Dropia getting very close to the back of Sonar. Oh, too much going on. Fretty side by side going down the inside back of the Toro Rosso there. Toro Rosso getting the switch back there. Better exit. Exit speed more important there. Clearly, after there's a mini straight after that turn. What a race this evening. 5 laps left to go. Prince Killer finally enters the pits. I believe it's been a long time, unless that's the 3rd pit stop after some front wing damage. No. And that is Chris Manier going into the barrier. What a time to accidentally switch to his POV. That is very unfortunate for him. And Fretty getting back very close to the back of Spaghetti Chips, which means there's just 11 drivers left in the Grand Prix. What a coincidence to accidentally switch to him as he gets flung into the barrier. Unfortunate for him. That's the 2nd DNF this season. Not managing to finish, and he's left the session, so not very happy with that performance. Very unlucky for him indeed. And I do feel for him, because I know what it's like to get so close to the end of a race and crash. Spaghetti Chips moving over to the right to try and break the toe down the main straight. Now Dropia getting close to the back of Sun, trying to take a peek down the inside there, but definitely not close enough. Crazy Crumpet though currently in 3rd position it appears, although that might be another glitch. Massive lock up there from Dropia and his Sauber Alfa Romeo. Getting close to the back of Sonar. Sonar, of course, the main organiser of the league. So if there's anyone to contact about joining the league, it is him. Yeah, Dropia shortening the gap. It looks like if the race is to finish now, it is Dropia who will finish ahead of Sonar, which means he'll finish on 4th place, even though he isn't actually in this league. So yet again, he's representing Alfa Romeo, Sauber Alfa Romeo, without actually racing. That is FLH Crazy Crumpet here getting, you can see in the background, so Dropia getting close to the back of Sonar. He's going to have the DRS, he's going to have the ERS, he's going to have the speed, he's going to have the toe, he's going to take a look down the inside into the main straight, down the main straight rather. And he's made the overtake and getting very close there to the back of the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso almost getting tangled up there. There's 16.2 kilometers left of the race as the Toro Rosso lets them both pass. Oh, Spaghetti Chips rather, not FLH Crazy Crumpet. So confusing with these cars as Dropia takes a look down, passes down the inside of the Red Bull. In the high speed bit there. What entertaining racing there has been tonight. I've been entertained, I've been kept talking the whole time. And haven't had to bring up any statistics to keep you entertained. Prince Killer very far behind the rest of the grid though. Prince Killer receiving a 3-second time penalty, speaking of him. Yomper only doing 1 stop. That's why he went onto the mediums, just doing a 1 stop. Spaghetti Chips discussed with me before the race that he was going to try the 2-stop strategy. Just Prince Killer has been lapped. Shows how close these drivers are. FLH Crazy Crumpet definitely not in 6th with that gap to leader. Position change. Yompa is the only person to be up 4 places in the top 5. Then FLH Crazy Crumpet will ignore that. Spaghetti Chips, not too much changing from the original grid order apart from Tackers, Philip Hodgson, Prince Killer really gaining places, and Yompa of course, as FLH Crazy Crumpet returns to his place. So quite a few people below the top 5, top 6 rather, gaining positions since the start of the race. Sonar though trying to recover that position lost to drop. The Spaghetti Chips has slowly made his way up the order, it looks like, throughout this race. Very, very entertaining as we're approaching the final stages. Under 16 kilometers to go. Ooh, slight bit of oversteer there from the Red Bull. Sonar not losing or really gaining any time on Dropia, very close between those two. Well, it was an entertaining battle to keep us going through the final stages. Under 2 laps to go now. That means there's 10 kilometers remaining of the race. And this is the man leading the pack. Heading through the first sector there. As we watch Sonar try and regain his position on Dropia, although it may be a bit fruitless because fruitless because he has got that 3-second time penalty, which means Dropia was inevitably going to end up ahead of him anyway. And Spaghetti Chips definitely not gaining up 12 seconds in 1 lap, unless Sonar does make a mistake, which means that the podium positions appear to be relatively safely. Simsy Danger, Scooter Seb and Yompa, of course. Dropia quite close, but it doesn't look like 2 seconds can be gained over the course of a couple of laps. And that is unfortunate for Sonar. Unless there is a big mistake between these top few, then it doesn't look like anyone's losing or gaining positions. And I don't think Dropia is going to, although close and being fast, I don't think Dropia is going to be able to make up 2 seconds, under 2 seconds on Yompa in about 1 lap. Unfortunately for him though. Though he does seem to be gaining time quite rapidly on Yompa. Yompa then only being one of the only drivers, I believe, to be to go on the one-stop strategy. Yeah, him and Philip Holston, I believe, are the only people on the one-stop strategy. Gaining so much time actually on Dropia, but under 5 kilometers to go. The lap length here is 5.44 kilometers in Bahrain. And the final lap, this is the man leading the race who barely had time to cover him because of all the other drama. 4 DNS being Chris Menier, Paul James, Topics and Ruslan. Ruslan did get very annoyed with his DNF. Coming through the second sector, about 2.5 kilometers to go until the end of the race. Well close. Dropia is definitely not going to make up a second, and then Sonar not going to make up a second on him. Actually, it would be 4 seconds, wouldn't it? But this is the man currently leading the Grand Prix, number 12, Simsy Danger, back on form after his performance at Australia. Not too close to what he usually does get. Entering the last couple of kilometers of the lap, maybe just 1.5 kilometers now. He is in sector 3, just 2 more turns until the checkered flag. Dropia though, half a second off Yompa. This is going to be so close. Simsy Danger though, coming across the checkered flag. I don't want to miss the overtake. Spaghetti Chips making an overtake on Techers. And that is Simsy Danger. You can hear them. Dropia maybe going to be side by side through the final turn. It's going to be so close as we ride on board. As they go side by side, it's going to be so close between Dropia and Yompa, and they both pass on to the end of the line. This is the man winning the race this evening. As the final driver to cross the line is FLH Crazy Crumpet after a bit of a glitchy race. What a Grand Prix. Anyway, that wraps up the Series 3A1 Round 2 Bahrain Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching. And goodbye. These are the final standings of the race. Don't even know if we're still recording. Podium position, podium celebrations first. It's the Maranello team on pole position today. The team in Maranello, rather. The Prancing Horses, Williams and Sauber. Maurizio Arrivabene there. Fireworks there off in the distance. Helicopter flying dangerously close to those. I get XP for doing nothing. And this is the final standings of the Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching tonight, and goodbye.